The first thing I did after regaining my sight was to look for my husband. I couldn't wait to share the good news with him, to celebrate together. But when I returned home, the sight before me struck me like a knife to the heart. In the bedroom, Lucy Dalgan was entangled with another woman. His eyes were clouded with desire, his voice hoarse, his body moving rhythmically. Beneath him, Jasmine Barnes clawed her nails into his back, her voice restrained as she whispered, "Wait. Not yet. She's here." But Lucy, caught in the heat of the moment, only moved more fervently. Sensing his heightened passion, Jasmine smirked, her gaze falling mockingly on me. She pulled him closer, as if she wanted to meld him into her very being. "Ah!" He groaned loudly, his voice rough with frustration. "Oh, I couldn't hold back. Now I'll have to switch to another one." Jasmine handed him the used contraceptive, her eyes signaling what needed to be done. "She's back. Go deal with her." My face turned pale. Lucy got up, walked toward me, and said with an unbothered expression. Jasmine twisted her ankle. "I was just helping her with a massage. Also, I've got a fever. Could you get me the medicine from the table?" As he spoke, he casually tossed the contraceptive into the trash. The air was heavy with the stench of betrayal. I clenched my jaw, pretending to fumble blindly as if I hadn't regained my sight. But the overflowing trash can, littered with contraceptives and scattered lingerie, gnawed at my insides. A wave of nausea surged through me, nearly overwhelming me. My stomach churned violently, but I forced myself to steady my trembling hands and passed him the so-called fever medicine. Undressed, Lucy accepted it with a smug grin, as if receiving a trophy, then knelt before Jasmine, his head tilted back like a dog awaiting praise. She stroked his head affectionately before kissing him with abandon. Their passion reignited, and he scooped her into his arms, carrying her effortlessly. They stopped a mere meter from me. "You have to give me a deep massage, okay?" Jasmine said, her tone dripping with false innocence as she towered over me. Behind her, Lucy's hands roamed her body, his kisses relentless. "Sorry," she continued, her words a deliberate taunt. "I just really needed a massage, and Lucy's hands are magical. You don't mind, do you? After all, you're his wife. I'm just a poor, injured woman." Her provocation was clear, yet instead of feeling ashamed, Lucy seemed to revel in her words, his actions growing bolder under her influence. "Tonight, I'm exhausted," he said nonchalantly. "I'm not feeling well. You can sleep in the study." With that, they returned to the bedroom, resuming their sordid affair without even bothering to close the door. My vision blurred with tears as I stood there, my heart splitting into fragments. Even as I witnessed this scene, I had already resolved to leave. But the pain, the unbearable pain, refused to subside. It felt as if my chest was being crushed, my heart writhing in agony. In the haze of their passion, I closed my eyes and reached out with my mind, calling upon the High Priestess of the Misty Forest. "High Priestess, I am ready to return, to resume my life as a witch, and to inherit your position. Are you certain?" Her voice was laced with anticipation. "That's wonderful. Among all the witches, you are the most exceptional. If you return, you will become the next High Priestess of the Misty Forest." The witches of the Misty Forest were renowned worldwide for their unparalleled healing abilities, revered as divine figures with the power to bring the dead back to life. But to accept this role meant a lifetime confined to the forest, never to leave again. "I've made up my mind," I said firmly. "I will never leave the forest again." "Very well," she replied, her voice resolute. "From this moment on, you are my successor, the next High Priestess of the Misty Forest." I ended the telepathic call, but the High Priestess's excited voice still echoed in my ears. My mind wandered back to the promises Lucy had once made to me. "I never thought there'd be a goddess living in the forest, let alone one as beautiful and enchanting as you. Will you leave the forest and come with me to the human world? I'll make you the happiest woman on earth. Don't worry. You've given up your life as a witch and left the forest for me. I'll love only you for the rest of my life. I'll never betray you, never leave you." The man was still the same man, but his promises had become unrecognizable, warped beyond recognition. Once, I couldn't bear to part with him. I gave up the divine position of the High Priestess and all the medical knowledge that came with it. But now, what was left for me to hold on to? It was time to leave. The high priestess and I had agreed to meet in half a month. That meant I had only half a month left with Lucy in this lifetime. I wasn't sure how long they stayed in the bedroom. When Lucy finally emerged, he moved with deliberate caution, as though guilt had hollowed him out. His instinct was to reach out and hold me. But the sweat from his exertions still clung to his body, mingling with the scent of another woman. I forced down the nausea rising in my throat, stepping away without making a scene. "Mabel, what's wrong?" Lucy used to say. I reminded him of an unearthly being untouched by the world, a celestial spirit from the mountains. He would cling to me as if I might vanish at any moment. But after I lost my sight, and after Jasmine appeared, he stopped saying things like that. Now his hands gripped my waist tightly, pinning me in place. "Mabel, you look pale, and your clothes are damp. Did you catch a cold in the rain?" With a tenderness that made my stomach churn, he grabbed a warm towel and began drying my hair. His movements were gentle, his eyes filled with what looked like genuine concern. How was this the same man who, moments ago, had been pressing another woman beneath him, drawing ragged gasps from her lips? The high priestess had been right. Some men lie so seamlessly that the truth seems to vanish in their presence. Their deceit is a craft, perfected to the point that their true selves emerge only when it's too late. Perhaps I never truly understood human love. And now, I no longer wanted to. I had been hurt too deeply, and there was no turning back. Suppressing my grief, I furrowed my brow and said quietly, "My stomach doesn't feel well. Don't touch me." Lucy frowned, concern etched into his features. "I'm the one who loves you most. How could I not care for you? I've been so busy with work lately that I haven't spent enough time with you. But your birthday's coming up, and I've planned a surprise for you." By day, he was the cold, ruthless CEO, wielding power with an iron hand. But before me, he was always soft, always obedient. I thought I was the only one who knew this side of him. I hadn't realized he could be just as devoted, just as indulgent, to another woman in the dead of night. After tidying the bedroom, he led me inside and gently coaxed me to sleep, his voice soothing, his touch tender. He treated me like a child, pampering me endlessly. Even if it cost a fortune, he would spare no expense just to see me smile. And then, the sound of the door. "Is she asleep yet? Hurry up. I still need you to give me a hard massage. Now." "I'm coming, you insatiable little fox. What's the rush?" So, his tenderness was just a prelude to going back to her. How could he be so heartless, so cruel to me? What had I ever done to deserve this? Taking advantage of my blindness, he crushed my dignity and my feelings underfoot, grinding them into the dirt and spitting on the pieces. Tears spilled down my cheeks. I kept telling myself it was okay. It would all be over soon. I just needed to endure a little longer. When I woke up again, a glass of warm milk had been placed on the bedside table. "I took the day off just to spend it with you," Lucy said casually, his body draped in a bathrobe, covered in a dense pattern of kiss marks. I turned my face away, unwilling to look. He fastened my favorite necklace around my neck, his voice soft and coaxing. "I've made a reservation tonight at your favorite restaurant. It's by the sea, with the best ocean view you love." But I couldn't see anymore. What good was an ocean view to me now? Suddenly, I remembered. Jasmine grew up by the sea. Of course. He'd managed to hide living together with her from me. Why wouldn't tonight's dinner include her as well? I smiled bitterly. Lucy mistook it for happiness and kissed me immediately. That evening, the restaurant had been booked out entirely by him. He even invited the band Jasmine liked and arranged for a drone light show. I ate the food, which wasn't to my taste, while catching glimpses of his arm, which wouldn't stop moving. Under the table, his hand had slipped beneath Jasmine's skirt. Stop it. Not here," she murmured, biting her lower lip, her voice teasingly low. With his other hand, he kept a firm grip on mine. "Mabel, I love you," he murmured, his voice tinged with restrained desire. Overcome with jealousy, Jasmine kissed him directly, forcing him to let go of my hand. Her cheeks flushed deeply, and Lucy was barely holding himself back. After wishing me a happy birthday and professing his love, he turned and kissed Jasmine with an intensity that made me look away. The musicians exchanged awkward glances, whispering among themselves, their expressions a mix of disdain and pity. Her own husband's being kissed by another woman, and she can still sit there eating? I heard she's blind and has hearing problems too. She needs a hearing aid to communicate. No wonder her husband cheats, she's just a cripple. The words stung. Years ago, it was at this very restaurant where Lucy proposed to me. Even the band playing tonight was the same one from back then. A shadow passed over my face, and Lucy noticed immediately. Gently pushing Jasmine aside, he asked, "What's wrong?" But within seconds, Jasmine retaliated, clawing at him with mock frustration. "I want your love and your body. Everything you did for her, you need to do for me now. I'm your woman now. She's useless, why do you still treat her like a treasure? What does she have that I don't?" A single tear slipped from Lucy's eye. Was it sympathy for me? Or a crocodile tear meant to cover his guilt? No, if he truly loved me, how could he do this? Outside the restaurant window, drones lit up the night sky in dazzling patterns, spelling out his name intertwined with Jasmine's. What was supposed to be my birthday dinner had turned into their announcement of love. I was the extra piece, unnecessary and forgotten. How laughable. How cruel. "Mabel, I accidentally got some oil on my collar. I'll go clean it up in the restroom. Wait for me," he said. His collar was spotless, except for the small tears where Jasmine had ripped it apart. They left, their urgency uncontainable, slipping into the private room next door. Soon after, the muffled sounds of their passion drifted through the thin wall.